Hey guys, welcome back to Nerd Rant. I'm one of the hosts, Dr. Zombie, and also known as Seth, with my co-host over here. He's not actually here. He's on voice. I'm legitimately pointing to him. I am tired. This is the beauty of this podcast.
Pointing to your dinky laptop screen.
I'm pointing to my bed because I really think he's too. Like, I legitimately thought you were beside me. This is off to a great start.
Yes, I'm taunting you. Exactly what's happening.
I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, this is Junior Wolf. If you don't know by now, it's known as JJ. Okay, so for everyone that watched episode 1, thank you. Appreciate it. Hope it was entertaining. And for you guys that don't know, episode 1 released last night. Whatever. Whenever you're watching this, but listening, I guess. And we talked about the game state of Chapter 3, Season 3. The weapons, the loot pool, things like that. Also the map, the bugs, just a whole bunch of stuff. But another important thing that we want to talk about leading up to the end of the season, which is very much rapidly approaching. How much do we have left? 14?
It's like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
2 weeks.
I think it's the 17th. And yes, that's about 14 days. So we're very much rapidly approaching the end of the season. Thus, what time is it, JJ?
11 o'clock?
Fairy time. Oh my. Oh, she did it. She really you really didn't.
No. Ready. Roll it again. Go.
What time is it?
Fairy time!
Let's go. Here's the question.
Okay.
That ends.
Yes, all the way. Yep.
Okay. Back on track. We can go down rabbit holes, but we gotta keep a little bit on track.
Yep. We wrote down some notes here on things we want to touch on, so we're gonna hit those and try and get this all wrapped up in an hour, because both of us know we could talk about it all night long.
We can. So the first thing I want to say, JJ has this theory that I think he's been dying to tell me about for days.
I brought it up like 2 days ago, and every day I'm like, I'm definitely going to tell you about this in one of the podcast episodes.
So, here we go.
Yep. All right. So I saw people were discussing on Twitter. There are these, you know the Rift butterflies, right? Like the blue Rift glass-looking butterflies that are always in events and whatnot. Those have been flying around the island, right? But not just the typical blue color that we see, right? We had a blue color, we have a purple color, and we have a gold color, right? What are those all colors of?
Hues.
Exactly. But there's a fourth butterfly. There's a red one.
King?
It's very possible. That's been implied that there's a fourth kind of hue
thing that pops in my head. We have the blue cube, which is like, against the other ones. We have the purple cubes, the normal, like the soldiers. And then the gold cube is the queen. The first thing that pops in the head, what does every queen need? A king. And we already know we have the king, the origin. That's just the first thing that pops in my head. Is there more to this theory? Is there like something everyone's been saying that the red cube could be?
Not necessarily. It's widely split, because a lot of people are saying that it could be king, but I'm thinking it's probably something else. I don't know what else it could be, but the fact that we already do have a cube king being origin, and his color wasn't necessarily associated with red, it was more so associated with the same colors as the cube queen, as we can see in his loading screen. He's got that white armor on, still kind of like the purple cube magic, stuff like that. So I don't think it has to do with the cube king. I'm thinking, so you know how there's only ever been one blue cube, right?
Yeah.
That was Blevin on Season 8, Chapter 2. He was created by us, quote-unquote, rebooting the cube, right? We're in the event, we all give him our love energy and power him back up after he's dead, right?
Yeah.
So that's what created the blue cube. I'm thinking this red cube, right? I'm thinking this red cube is some sort of anger or torture that you perform to the cube, and then it fills it with like rage or hatred or something like that, and that's how you get your red cube.
I could see that. Okay. Interesting.
And I think the reason we could have red butterflies flying around is we all know something's gonna happen with this reality tree, right? Like, almost every theory is pointing to the reality tree is gonna be poisoned, it's gonna die, it's gonna be corrupt, like, something's gonna happen to it. I think the reality tree is slowly poisoning or attacking the 0 point, right? Because the 0 point is hiding underwater right now, and we know the tree is drawing energy from it. What if that is hurting the 0 point, and the 0 point's pain or the 0 point's suffering is causing these red butterflies to appear?
Okay.
That's pretty much all I got for this theory. Anything to add?
So here's my question. What would that mean for the season, having a red cube? Because last time we had a cool cube, it literally didn't do anything until the event, and then it blew up in the event.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
So I think this is going to be just a random thing that we're going to talk about all season and just be like, oh, be disappointed? Or do you think this is actually going to mean something?
I feel like it would have some sort of story implication, even if it only goes as far as being explained that yes, this is, if you torture a cube, this is what happens. I feel like it's going to have some sort of implication somehow. Like maybe maybe the Cube King, some other Cube King, or the last reality purposely does this to cubes to make them more of a weapon, instead of a purple cube that goes around and scouts the island.
One thing that popped in my head, what if it's not a king? What if it's a general? What if it's the leader of the purples, the foot soldiers? Never thinking the last reality is an army, kind of like the caretaker to the normal zombies.
Yeah.
Or cube monsters. What if it's a general?
I could definitely see that. I mean, my first thought is that if we did get a red cube on the island, it would be actively attacking you, right? Because the purple cube bounces you back. The blue cube gives you shield. The red cube, which presumably would be filled with hatred, maybe zaps you or something like that. If you get too close or even just touch it, then it'll damage you slightly. Maybe 5-10 damage, but maybe it's damaging you instead of what the other cubes have.
I mean, the purple cube does that too. It does damage you. Or it did. I mean, it's only been in 2 seasons, so 50% of the life cycle it damaged you. So
I feel like they might have retconned that though after.
They could have, yeah.
Because they also probably weren't thinking about hatred-filled cubes back then.
No, they weren't. Or were they?
Who knows? Donald Mustard is behind us.
That's a cool theory. Yeah, the only thing I just have to say is just what would that implement, and how would that affect the season? Obviously, we can't tell now because we don't know what the red cube would be. If it's a hatred, if it's a general, if it's the king, whatever. There's literally no way to confirm that as of right now. But yeah, okay. Would you like to go to our second point?
Sure, why not? Real quickly, everybody. Camping Rusher on YouTube is where we get a lot of our leaks and stuff.
He was better in his faction days.
Go support him, guys. Camping Rusher on YouTube. He's pretty great. He has a creator code too, the Camping Rusher, if you want to support him in the Fortnite shop. He's your one-stop shop for everything that's being leaked on Twitter and Instagram if you don't have any of those. So yeah, go and give him your support. How dare you? That's offensive. How could you do such a thing?
No. So when I found him, he was playing 2B2T, and that was let's see, let's watch this. When was the last video? Episode 39. That was in what is expired? So I've been following him for a while.
Quite a while.
Anyway, sorry, that's just me thinking wait a minute.
I'm old. I'm old. Definitely.
I want to save the next one for a little bit later. I want to talk about some other ones first, because that's kind of the one that a lot of people are going for right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's most likely, so let's save that for a little bit later. Marvel. So, we already know it's not a Marvel season, right? However, there's just been so much, there's almost always so much Marvel that I think there's gonna be something. I'm not caught up on the comics, and I also don't watch the leaks. However, I did hear about there's a possibility of a Hulkbuster and we know there's
It's all but
mech.
confirmed.
Yeah, it's all but confirmed, and we also know there's a new mech. So, Hulkbuster. What else?
Yep.
We kind of got confirmed, Spider-Gwen's going to be in the Battle Pass, and what does that mean? Probably getting the Spider-Man Mythics back, and this and that, and not to mention Chapter 2, Season 4 was Marvel. Even if it's not a Marvel season, there's going to be a lot of Marvel points to it. Right.
I mean, I feel like at this point, they're working so closely with Marvel for the story that it's only like hand in hand with Marvel that they can go forward with it at this point.
Not to mention they have Marvel Comics right now.
Yeah. I know the Hulkbuster that we're supposedly getting is going to be painted like the 7 style, like the mech we just got. It's going to be that blue and silver kind of style. So the Plate Hawk is what the mech is called in the files, but seeing as we just got that 7 Hulkbuster in, I think it's Comic 5 it's supposed to appear. So seeing as we just got that, it's most likely going to come to the game.
Yeah. So what else do you think we could see in a non-Marvel season that's also, a chapter later of the Marvel season? I mean, there was also talks about Iron Man, like that might be like the secret skin that you get from all the comics. Do you think we can get something like Iron Man Mythics back?
See, I saw some people saying the Iron Man repulsors have technically been changed, I'm pretty sure. I saw somebody talking about that, but somebody also said if we're getting a Hulkbuster, it could have been for that. What if they're working the repulsors into the Hulkbuster mech?
Okay. Yeah.
And I wouldn't be opposed to that, but I also wouldn't be opposed to having it be its own unique mythic. And I think we can transition to into another topic here that I don't think we wrote down. The throwback season, right?
I can't believe we forgot that. No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think all these things coming together, right? We have our mech and we have a bunch of Marvel stuff. We got our web slingers. We got, by the way, things being refurbished.
Not just I'm coming back, but like that's definitely, I think that's almost collaboratively, like the entire community can agree that is either the best or their favorite mythic of all time.
It is definitely one of the best out there.
So,
but I think with all this stuff being updated and brought back into the public eye, I think it's definitely a possibility that all of these things will either come back for a small event for the 5th birthday, or next season has a lot of like throwback elements to it in terms of bringing back stuff from the past chapter.
If I can remember correctly, planes got updated, right? That's definitely another vehicle. The mechs, web slingers, wasn't there some like primal or something? That's right, we never did get that primal shotgun. Remember there was that primal shotgun that was leaked. A primal-like shotgun.
Primal-like shotgun? I don't recall that.
You don't remember that? That was a few seasons ago. So, anyway, there's some weapons like that are in the files. So, and not to mention, with all with this late game arena right now, a lot of people kind of wanting the Pump and Scar back. A throwback event or season would be a perfect time for that.
I feel like if they don't do anything at this point, it's just going to be a missed opportunity because it's the 5th birthday, right? 5-year anniversary for a battle royale game.
And that's stated at, like, this is what I always say, like, when we've been talking about this, not only is it the 5th, it's the 5th birthday of a game that stayed to this state for so long. How many games do you know that have survived to this size of media? Getting Fortnite, with Fortnite getting Dragon Ball, Naruto, Marvel, DC, sports players, music players, all of these. What other game do you know that stays at that level of media?
It's really only the ones that have a huge company behind them to make that stuff happen, like Minecraft. Like, they've had a bunch of collabs, but that's only because they have the core giant that is Microsoft behind them.
So, and I don't know any other games that's like Call of Duty kind of, but not a specific game. Let's just say that the reason that survived is because it's yearly, so it's always kind of fresh, right? Not just a game that stays like the same game, same loop, like whatever. I don't know any other games like Roblox.
And what games get better over their dates, right? Like a lot of them sometimes will have more bugs added, or like they'll try and add new content. It just won't be as popular, or it doesn't bring players back. Fortnite is literally at its peak right now, after it's peaked 2 other times. It's like, how do you stay this high? No joke intended there.
Debatable.
Definitely.
Wasn't it season 1 they were talking about that the Epic Games is high?
Yes, everything they're doing is just so random and sporadic that they're all just high in the office.
Anyway, we are 15 minutes, so we have a lot more to talk about. So let's go to the next thing. What do you want to talk about next?
Well, right after Marvel here, we have the leaked teaser image we got, right?
Yep.
There was an image on Twitter that started circulating. I believe it was leaked from Nintendo Online, their listing of Fortnite. They accidentally added this image to the page. It's an image of Paradigm's hand in her new 7 suit that we saw in the event, reaching out of what seems to be an oily like goo. She's reaching out, like almost grasping for something, like she's stuck inside, right? Like she's drowning in this goop.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting because this goop could be a lot of things, right? It could be oil. I mean, for all we know, it looks like it. It could be funky looking water. Could be tree sap. I mean,
But
who knows?
with that kind of brings me to what I've been thinking, and I think we're kind of on the same page for this. What if it's reality sap? That kind of sounds redonkulous, because what's that? It's from a 4chan leak. Now, yes, we know that HypeX, right, said that none of them are correct on the battle pass. That doesn't mean story-wise, though. Right? I'm pretty sure he just said battle pass.
A lot of these 4chan leaks have all almost unanimously united on one front, and that is something is going to happen to the tree to cause it to
Corrupt.
die off, corrupt, to leak sap. Like, it's going to either turn evil or die.
I caught this like a month ago.
Yes, we had a conversation while we were playing the game or just sitting in lobby or whatever we usually do. We were talking about like what's gonna happen next season because it's
Such a lackluster,
right?
And it's a lackluster season. This is gonna be like a 2-season event.
Yeah. So something had to have happened to the tree, and because it was Fort Nightmares, that's like the season of the undead, right? They bring back zombies. Something's gonna happen to the tree. What if it dies? What if it becomes corrupt? What if like it rots out?
Yep. And one thing I was saying with that is this was also when we found out Klombo died. What if with that brings back an undead Klombo? What if that brings back the Devourer? You know, the big skeleton that's kind of been there whole chapter and hasn't done anything, and it's definitely not something to wait till like the last week of the season chapter.
Nah, it's gonna be like the chapter 2 vault in the top left. It's literally not gonna do anything until the end.
Does that? I will cry. I will cry on everything. I will cry.
Why do I see them doing that though?
Why do I see it?
Oh, yes. Center of the map POI is just a red herring.
No, like the fact that it's indestructible and his skeleton like goes super far out too. Like, okay, do you want me to, or do you want to talk about this leak? Because I have it pulled up on Snapchat right now. Do you want to talk about it via 4chan about the sap?
You can start. I'll pull it up real quick.
Okay. So, leaks for Chapter 3, Season 4. This is a 4chan post. Not Marvel themed. Which, by the way, let's see. When did you send this? 2 days ago. So this was before, yesterday would have been when Hypixel, Hypixel?
Yes, Hypixel.
Hypex said this.
It says the date up at the top. 8/31/22 is when this was posted.
Okay. But there will be many Marvel collabs. Hey, we already have Spider-Gwen. The entire biome to the left corner of the map withers and brings back fog. Fortnite,
and you know that kind of matches up with our corrupted tree theory, right? This sap, something's gonna happen because the tree withers.
Bluish purple goo called reality sap is found in the withered biome and is similar to the sand from Chapter 2, Season 5, but it damages you when you stay in it for too long. By the way, for a while now, there has been leaks and talk of Santoline coming back in a liquid. There it is.
So the fact that we've had that kind of use updated, and then we get a leak of the goo. And this is, it just all seems to add up together. And obviously we're going to be able to be in the goo because, you know, Paradigm's in the goo in the teaser. So
yeah. For Halloween, there is a zero-build horde rush, where monsters climb out of the reality sap and you have to keep them from getting to a radio beacon. Hey, we already know they're working on horde rush. Wither trees can be found in some of the POIs affected by the reality tree that leak reality sap. I mean, the trees and roots are all over, including the spawn island, so...
This is true. We could have sap everywhere easily.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a problem to be distributed around the island.
And this is all because of the reality tree destabilizes. Do you want to talk about the rest? Do you have it pulled up?
Yep. The 0 point is above the water, but roots from the reality tree are holding it down. I think that'd be really cool because obviously in what was it, season 5 or 6, we saw the 0 point, right? It was there. We could see it in the air, we could see it in the tower, stuff like that, the spire. So having another season in chapter 3, because we haven't had it yet, like we haven't seen the 0 point all chapter. So having a season where we could see it.
Season 2, it kind of was there at the end, and then season 3, it's just been underwater. It literally hasn't been doing anything. It's just been chilling underwater.
So I think having a season where we could see it above the water could really, like, especially for the new players that just joined Fortnite, because we've had a huge spike in players.
Huge spike. Having 0 build with this and that.
Yeah, having that representation for one of the main key parts of the story, I think would be a good refresher for everybody. So having it above the water would make sense, and it would fit with the fact that the tree kind of wants to steal the 0 points energy. It says the battle pass has 2 starting skins again, 1 male and 1 female. Obviously, there's no way to tell with that because Hybex said that none of the leaks have got it 100% right, so we don't know if that's right. It's possible. We have enough skins that would make sense with. There are enough leaks for that to make sense, but no way of telling. It says tier 100 is Doom Guy.
Again, we don't know. Like he said, there's some people that had lucky guesses. This could be a lucky guess, or this can be completely wrong. Again, there's no way to know right now.
We do know that Doom Guy is most likely coming, though, because it was leaked way back in the live stream with Darth Vader and Indiana Jones and Family Guy, I guess. But I hope it's not, honestly. I would not like Doom Guy as a tier 100.
No.
The character from the end of trailer, at the end of the trailer from Chapter 3, Season 3 is the secret skin. That would be the Bloom Watcher. We obviously have her skin concept, so kind of makes sense. And, you know, I would love to have another story secret skin, so...
Like, Cube Queen was definitely one of my... Prisoner and Cube Queen, top 2 secret skins of all time. Prisoner, I remember coming home every day after school and, like, seeing his arm melted slowly out, and when I eventually unlocked him, every week having like to go collect the keys to unlock his armor and him becoming more and more of the Fire King. Awesome. Same thing with the Cube Queen, just that lead up to it and eventually unlocking her and just what she meant to the story that season.
Like, even though we already knew what she looked like, having that silhouette in the secret skin tab that entire time was just so... I don't know, it gave a sense of mystery to it. It just felt exciting to, like, slowly lead up to that point of reveal.
Especially the fact that we knew that was the secret skin because of the golden cube and everything. Like, we knew it was cube, king, queen, whatever. So, this could totally, this would definitely be in my top 3. Especially since, like, I love this season's umbrella. This would go so well.
Renegade Raider skin is tier 1. We know this is... something that is a high possibility because we have Renegade Raider Spark is its code name. It's basically just a cyberpunk, like, cyborg version of Renegade Raider. She was in the concept. She has a wrap that was added. That's how we got the code name Spark. So it's very possible that she is going to be a tier 1. As somebody who doesn't have a Renegade Raider skin, I definitely would not mind this, like, one bit. I don't have as much money as you do.
I have Blaze. I have the let's see, I have the Halloween version, I have the gingerbread version, and then the dark ice version. I haven't done.
Yes, this one I want to go in depth on. The meme skin is a bird that has a glider where they fly with their wings, also has a pretty good lobby track, and is apparently some kind of god, might be story relevant. This is interesting to me because it was mentioned earlier, Seth sent me a photo.
Just kidding.
Yeah, because we can show that. There was a picture of the who is it?
Malik.
Malik's shield back bling.
Which also has 2 key points.
It has a bird on it, right? It has a giant, like, eagle, hawk, whatever you want to call it, bird.
Griffin. I think it might be more of a griffin because that was the collider.
Yeah, that makes sense, like some sort of griffin. But yeah, that has that bird on it.
And
so I think it's a very...
this is the same thing is because of the second key point.
It's down in the bottom left corner of this shield. You can see a hand sticking up from what seems like some sort of liquid. This could be one of two things. It could be the fact that next season we are going to have zombies coming out of this goop. It's already been confirmed that there is a boss that can raise zombies up from this goop. Or it could be that teaser that we saw, Paradigm reaching out of this goop trying to escape, right? So I feel like it's very possible that this bird is going to play some part, whether we know it's a meme skin or not. I think, though, I'm going to quickly pause us here on this leak list and segue into another conversation point. This is a part of the lore that is completely unexplored at this point, right? We have, obviously, I think Comic 4 explores a bit of the Ice King's history, some, but we haven't explored the, like, medieval side of the Fortnite lore very much. And I think Malik is the perfect way to transition into that, right? Like,
yeah,
here's a knight character who's referred to as the king, and he has a royalty about him, right? And then he has, like, a royal steed, which is the bird on the shield, right? So we know somehow he's related to medieval themes. What if he's, like, one of the elemental gods, right? Like the Ice King and the Fire King, and...
I mean, what if it was a vibing? What if it was like the party king?
Party king.
But actually.
I mean, it's very possible, right? We have so many symbols around that table, right? Like, what?
Okay, so
it would be so.
We're saying the table. This is from Chapter 1, Season 7 that we're currently talking about. So we should probably explain what we're going about right now.
Yeah. There's a table with a bunch of chairs sitting around it, and there's a symbol on each of the chairs.
This is it. Correctly. Let me explain it too. So Chapter 1, Season 7, the Ice King and Sergeant Winter pull up, causing the snow biome and Polar Peak, and when Polar Peak melted away, there's obviously Ice King's throne, but there's also a table. A round table with a whole bunch of chairs with symbols with one knocked over. We know one of them's the Ice King, we know that tipped over one is the prisoner, which is also the Fire King. So one thing that we talked about way long ago, and it's kind of crazy to see Ice King coming back and another king, was what if these other people are elementals? What if Origin, the Cube King, was also here, right? And with another thing with Ice King is he kind of got teased a little bit because one of the relics did have Ice King's banner on it.
Yeah,
I think that kind of catches up on what we're talking about.
I feel like there's a lot of ways they could take that, and that's just a thread that was left, like, untouched, right? I feel like that's something that needs to be not wrapped up per se, but touched on more. Yeah, it definitely seems like they're going back in the direction of those characters. So what if Malik is like the start of the new
order or something of
the new order of this, right? So I don't know.
Okay,
it doesn't necessarily have an element per se right now, but like it's definitely possible that he could be one of those like elementals or gods.
Well, what if he is a new generation? What if it was like Ice King and Prisoner and Cube King? What if it's now Cube Queen and a new generation of like elementals and stuff like that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Especially once the fact that we like the island flipped and everything, right? Like a whole new reality.
I would almost think the Bloom Watcher would be one of them, right? Like maybe the nature god or something like that.
Yeah.
Like the nature elemental. I'm not sure exactly how they would have that play in, but I definitely think there's a way that they could make that happen.
Yeah, I definitely could see like the whole medieval and royalty aspect of this game coming back. And like I said, I haven't been watching the leaks and I'm not super caught up on the comics. Is Comic 4 even out?
I think so.
I think it's this month, isn't it?
No, I'm pretty sure it released end of last month, and then last one it might release this month, I think.
Okay, because I just have up to 3. But yeah, Ice King is either in this one or the next one, so
yep.
I don't know exactly what he does, but it's definitely the
All right.
opportunities there. The opportunities there.
Back to the 4chan leak. The last one we have to touch on here before the season trailer is Party Royale concerts will be returning. I could see this possibly happening because at this point we've had so many different artists have like music leaks, I guess, music teases. Like Eminem has had so many appearances recently. Obviously, Lady Gaga would probably be big enough to get a Rift Tour type thing, so I doubt she'd appear there. But there are a lot of smaller artists that they've definitely been collaborating a lot with, like, what was the Bruno Mars one? What was their name?
The other
Silk Sonic. I feel like they could also make an appearance, but Party Royale has just gone under the radar for so long. I definitely think they might want to bring it back at some point. And with the fact that they just vaulted imposters to quote-unquote work on other projects, I feel like Creative 2.0 and Party Royale are two things that definitely could use some work. So if they are planning all that, I would not be surprised. Now, this one is a bit interesting. This is apparently a transcript of how the season trailer for Season 4 goes down. So it starts with that meme skin, the bird, as we see, fly by the 0 point, and roots from the reality tree grab the 0 point in a ball and grab the 0 point in a ball, but the 0 point fights back and kills the roots. So obviously, like, the tree is trying to leech off of the 0 point, take its energy, and the 0 point is fighting back because obviously it doesn't want to die. Roots throughout the island start to wither and leak sap. We see the monsters emerging from the sap, and just like every other Fortnite season, the zombies always make an appearance in the season trailer in one way or another.
Yeah.
And we almost see the way that they appear, like spawning from cubes, spawning from the zombie spawners, the sideways bubbles, like however you want to slice your cake, they're always appearing in the trailer. And I feel like this makes sense to have them rising out of that goo, because we have that staple of like a hand coming out of the goo. We see the figure from the end of the Chapter 3 Season 3 trailer as she walks away from the orb and is followed by a shadowy figure.
That gives me the level of like Thanos vibes when it's like, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, it's like I couldn't steal the energy, so I'll have to come down and do it myself or something like that. Almost like how we saw with the Cube Queen, right? She wasn't winning necessarily, so she came out of the cube and came and did it herself.
Didn't she say that?
I don't know, actually.
Here, let
I
me
mean, not remember what she said.
Cube.
Yeah, well, you do that. This leaker said they'll keep them and their source anonymous, of course, because, you know, there'd be a lot of trouble if the source was leaked.
Okay.
If this is I can hear the feedbacks. What does she say?
She said something.
The time for games is over.
The time for games is over.
I guess you can kind of see it as some kind of like fine, like time. It's time to start with her coming out of the
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely it's a trend that I can see Epic just kind of falling into.
It's like one is with two things. There's two things I really want to point out. One, there's been a lot of 4chan leaks. It's just so happened that last season kind of, or this, was there, I don't even know which season the 4chan leak was, right? There's been so many, like last season, we were talking leading up to the event about the drought season. Mm-hmm. Because it had a few points, like Snap was in it. It wasn't right. This one seems likely, but the other thing is, let's see. We had like 10 different theories for this season that all seemed likely, and then it was vibing.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's hard to tell because, like you said, this season was leaked on 4chan. Like, we got a shot of the Battle Pass tab. It had Snap in it. It had all the skins on the front page. I do think it had Indiana Jones as well as the secret skin,
I
and
think so.
looky here, that's what we got. So 4chan is not completely out of the picture when it comes to leaks, because it does seem there's some credibility to be found in it.
But it's so
Just
hard to know
careful.
who the credibility is, because it's
there's
4chan. There's just not, like, those people are anonymous. There's no, it's not like they're coming, not like HypeX having their anonymous. It's just a random person on the internet. There's no way to confirm and, like, backtrack it.
We just have to kind of cross-reference it with what we already have confirmed, the leaks
Like,
we already know.
now and stuff like that. That's just, you know, things like that.
Yeah, we think this one is the most credible so far because not only has it said things before they were leaked, like that goo, before we even got the teaser, it was talking about...
Marvel not confirmed not to be, you know, before Spider-Gwen, you know, starting.
Yeah.
All that was after this.
And this one, you know, seems to be keeping with that theme of, yes, we're carrying on with the Bloom Watcher story. The reality tree is going to suffer. Something's going to happen to the 0 point.
Yeah. Because there's so they can just have like, this character look over the island and just not do anything with it.
Yeah. I mean,
And
I
having a
wouldn't
certain
put it past Epic,
and having
that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that's probably the best shot we got at guessing next season. So,
another theory. One thing is like for like things like this. I like if you watch the pilot, I'm a writer. I have a very creative mind, and I've come up with many theories before. Many theories. Some I have predicted. Some I have not predicted at all though. But one thing that I have, this is just completely random and just a fun thought. This is another thing like this episode is just some fun thoughts on what we think next season could be. And one fun thought I had was, this is before the whole Marvel thing got confirmed. This was like 2-3 weeks ago at this point now that I came up with this. So we know that season 4 was like a Marvel season, and season 5 we had like this collab season, right? We had all these different collabs and things coming together, the Hunter season. Well, it's like, who says that next season has to be Marvel? What if we went to the collab season, and what if we got people like someone from The Walking Dead to hunt zombies, a vampire hunter, you know, from like a gaming legend hunter, a movie hunter, a DC hunter, like all these different universes combined, all different hunters for a Halloween monster hunter season.
who knows? Maybe even a Hunter X Hunter. Haha, ching. Ahaha.
I don't know what to laugh at. The joke or the fact that you said Hunter X Hunter and it's pronounced Hunter Hunter.
Definitely.
I don't know what it's more. Anyway, but I just a random theory.
Yeah.
Obviously, at this point, I'm definitely going with this 4chan leak more. But it's just a fun little thought bubble, you know, thing to think about. You know, who could those characters be, type of thing. Because that's another thing we've talked about a lot. That's definitely the throwback. We've kind of talked about that a little bit, but we're kind of talking about like the collab season. What would that type of season be? What would the DC skin be? What would the Marvel skin be? What would the Gaming Legends be for each of those? Now, that wasn't for a Monster Hunter. That was just general.
Yeah. Just like if we got a season with like every collab genre that's in the game. Like we have Gaming Legends, we have DC, we have Marvel, Icon, stuff like that. If we got one of every category, what would those skins be?
Yeah.
There were definitely a lot of ideas, some more likely than others. Oh gosh. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's hop to this point here. In our survey skins, right, we had a leak of what looks to be a cyborg Midas. Now, this is inquisitive because obviously Midas has not appeared for who knows how long at this point.
I was about to say season 3, but then there is that last laugh bundle.
Yeah, that's right. I guess that's right, yeah. Yeah, so since that skin where he's wearing that storm protection armor or whatever, Midas has just been radio silent, I guess, is the best way to put it. Because it's been confirmed by Donald Mustard, he is not dead. Yeah. He was in the loop when the shark ate him in the trailer. So he is not actually dead. He just started over. I guess he would have lost his memory then, right?
I guess so. Also, unless like we were talking about like his intelligence, What if he did find a way to get his memory back?
That is very possible, yeah.
So I mean, another thing with getting his memory back, there's two things that I want to say to like, and I think we both can agree like that Midas might be back. One being his restaurant. There's a restaurant that has like, you know, the Midas symbol on it and stuff, but it also has a book that has the Doomsday device from Chapter 2, Season 2. What if that also had some notes that got his memory back?
Mm-hmm. Now, we don't know the details on how that would work at this point. We don't know, like, hey, if you see enough stuff from your past loop, will that jog your memory? Will that, like, bring everything back? Or do you actually have to relearn absolutely everything?
If
it's also very possible...
Seven Deadly Sin Elizabeth type deal.
Mm-hmm. It's also very possible that, because of how techie Midas is known to be, he's a spy, he's got a bunch of gadgets. It's also possible he installed, like, maybe some sort of technology on himself to protect his memory loss in the loop at the very least, which I did see some people discussing on Reddit. What are some ways that Midas could maintain his memory if he did actually die? And I do think that has some merit here because I can speak. The survey skin that just got leaked was a cyborg version of Midas, right? He looked to be some sort of robot, a lot of tech.
Anime Legends Midas still, too.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of, like, a lot more gadget-type Midas coming out. And I think it's not completely out of the picture to say, yeah, he had a chip installed in his brain to help protect his memories, or, like, he's more robot than human now, so the loop doesn't affect him the same way. Like, there's a lot of possibilities out there. Some of them have a bit more merit than others, but I definitely think Midas is not done. He's definitely coming back in some way, whether it be a side story or a main season point. We'll have to wait and see.
And another thing with Midas to confirm, like, his existence is the fact that if you go to anyone as Midas, I think it was the other versions of Midas too. Like, I think I used my ice version and it worked. If you go to the members of his organization, like Meowscles on the map, what exactly was Meowscles? Did Meowscles say?
Something like, yeah, are we back on? Is our operation active again? Something like that.
Something like that, which kind of is weird. Why would you talk about that 3 seasons after Chapter 3? Like, it's almost 10 seasons later.
Yeah.
Why mention that?
It's just there's so many hints right now. There's
there's three actually. The what's it called? Command Cavern, right? We had all different characters. We had like a D&D, gaming set, like Sky. We had golden stuff like Meowscles Bowl, all some things from TNT's room. All these underneath one of the bridge, like stone bridges, there was like a little place that someone was staying, kind of looking like a cat or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities out there. I feel like this is another one of Epic Games just likes teasing us, so they're putting all these things in here to give us theory fodder, and then they're gonna drop a bomb that's nothing like any of us expect.
Like Season 3.
Exactly. Makes so much sense, which is why it makes no sense.
That's her quote. No, catchphrase. That's the word.
Definitely.
I did also want to say another thing, not related to this, off topic, but related to us. We will overthink things. Like, for example, at the end of Chapter 2, Season 8, we went through the entire map to find things before it left. And we found this witch-looking room with a coffin. And we really felt that meant something. We were like, oh my gosh, it's Dracula! It
was completely...
We very much will overlook things.
We found a super low-res, 180 pixel painting on the wall that looked vaguely like a ship, and we were like, oh my gosh, it's the last reality, guys. They're here in this painting. This painting is in this house. This house must be at the house of a spy from the last reality. They have, so many...
Find, a whole, Jonesy-looking thing with the ducks and, the journals and stuff. There was, IO blueprints and some stuff kind of made sense. And then...
Every teddy bear we found, our minds blew up.
Because, could be a spy for the bears against Fino. So we very much will overthink things. So some of this kind of stuff, like the Midas, could just be a little hint, like just a little reference. It's like, hey, remember Meowscles was with Midas? You know, that could be the whole thing. It could just be little Easter eggs.
But it's
And I'm-
not.
And we don't know because
Definitely not.
that's what we thought about half of chapter 2.
This is the entertainment aspect. We get to theorize. And then people get to laugh at us when we act stupid.
Isn't that all the time?
That's a fair point. I didn't think about that. That's all the time too, though, so, you know.
You're also not wrong. Actually, very good points. Good job, my co-host, JJ.
Yeah, I'm useful.
At being stupid.
Definitely.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Let's see. I think that's everything of the list that we got. So what other things do we want to talk about? That's right. I wanted to talk about this season's lore that's very minuscule. What are the two big things that I think we both know what we're going to talk about with the one big thing right now that's happening in the lore. Let's talk.
Yes, the 7 members have been mysteriously disappearing around the island. We have found their helmets sitting around in random spots on the island,
Which is also
paradigms.
suspicious because as of right now, I still don't think we know what the helmets are for because we've seen so many people in the loop that don't have helmets. We thought they were to keep yourselves like protected in a loop, but now we don't know if it's that or if they're just spacesuits because they have a base on the moon.
It seems like just the technology, because Jones kept himself safe using just that rift gun. So it seems like having any sort of like 0-point piece or energy or something like that is what keeps you safe. So it could just be like infused into their suits, or they have some sort of gadget on them all the time.
But if
They don't
it does
need the helmet.
But if it does need to be airlocked, I feel like that could be like one thing that these helmets, the fact that it's their helmets specifically.
But yeah, the 7 members are disappearing. I think right now the helmets we have found are the Visitor, the Origin, and the Foundation are the 3 helmets we have.
I think.
We're probably going to get more next week. Paradigm has been walking us through this. She's actually found us the helmets and stuff.
Yeah.
We've gone looking. So this next week, or I guess this week, Tuesday, I believe. Is that when we get Biome Quest? Tuesday?
think so.
Yeah, whichever Tuesday. So this will be the last week of Vibing Quest we get before the end of the season. So we're gonna have to see what happens, what kind of cliffhanger they leave it on. Oh gosh, I'm so interested to see where they're going with this.
Like I said, like I'm gonna bring this back over and over. You know, we really thought we knew what we were talking about, and then Vibe and Cat came. This season caught us so off guard. So off guard.
We get out of that super hype event to some lo-fi mushrooms, and we're like, what in the ever-loving crap duty?
And then we see, like, you know, the picture book, and it's like, wait, is it actually? There's no way we're gonna go from war and, you know, end of the, like, the reality to vibing, party time with Vader.
Yeah, Darth Vader showing up to party with everybody. Makes total sense.
So, no matter what we talk about, I just don't know anymore. I don't know. As their catchphrase will go, and we will say this dozens of times in one episode, it makes sense, thus it will not happen.
Yep. Now, here's a completely random thread I'm going to throw out there, right? We've talked about the fact that we might get another collab season, or, you know, there's just a lot of collabs coming in nonetheless.
Yeah.
So what if, like, I think I've said this before, what if the 0 point just kind of destabilizes from being attacked, right? What if it decides, you know what, we need to bring in some more protection to try and kill off this tree, right? And we get a bunch of other realities pulled in again, and that's where all these leaked collabs come from, because Epic has sent out, I believe it's 2 different instances now, where it's a survey of, hey, here's a huge list of big IPs, what are some things you'd be interested to see come to Fortnite? Now, this is not like the survey skins where it's like, okay, we already have skins drafted up and we just want to see which ones you want to see first. This is like, okay, we have none of these set up, but what are the ones that you would be interested to
That's
see?
right. Like from like The Office, from manga, from anime, from movies like Rick and Morty.
It's just a what ton of characters, and I think it allows you to check like 5 or 10 of them, and you just pick like which ones are your favorite, which ones you want to see. I think there was like something like 200 characters or something. No, they're both of the surveys. So obviously some collabs are coming at some point. Now, I don't know if there would have been enough time in between those surveys and now to merit like, okay, so they got those most popular ones and put them into the season. I don't think that's the case here, but I definitely think they are setting up a lot more collabs coming, and a way to work that into the story is, hey, the 0 Point is stressed out right now. It needs more protection, so it's calling people in from these other realities.
Isn't that kind of what happened with the Hunter season, except it was destabilized and calling extra Hunters?
No, that was Jones. Jones was jumping between realities, bringing in the Hunters. I forget exactly why he was calling in the Hunters. That was my first season, so cut me some slack. But
Fair.
Jones was jumping realities, bringing them in. It was not the 0 Point's doing.
Okay. Anything else? Vibe and Quest. Is there any other big story thing? Amy? Do you want to talk about Amy?
She's gonna turn evil, guys. Amy's gonna turn evil. She's an AI that is not okay.
Okay, that's about it. No. Okay. So one theory that I had, and I can totally agree with JJ, this is way too complicated, but I like complicated. So we know snapshots are a thing. What if all of the members of the 7 get abducted, get, thrown in the goo, and what if we get evil versions? Now the problem is, who would help us then? What if Amy then helps us get the members of the 7 back from the goo? Something like that.
I definitely think Amy's going to play a part here, because apparently in this next week of Vibe and Quest, Paradigm is also going to go missing. That's what people are talking about, is what the leakers are saying. So if that is true, I definitely think Amy's going to be the one walking us through that, trying to help us find what happened to them.
Foundation's, kind of fighting Geno. He kind of busy. Who else is there? Science.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's a little bit confusing, because the Foundation did leave in the 0 Point in the event, but at the same time, his helmet was found on the island. So I don't know if that's just a minor story or inconsistent.
Origin
and Foundation. Yeah, that was one of the 3. So who knows right now where he's actually at? I don't know if they just.
I think this is the hardest part.
Thinking.
Actually, you know what? I know what we can talk about for the rest of this. What we want to see with like these comics and stuff. I think the biggest problem with the lore is that they don't know the lore.
I think the whole goal of these comics was to try and tie up some loose ends and fix a lot of the mistakes they made. We recently saw on Twitter as well the whole dispute around Paradigm and Singularity being the same person. It was all but confirmed. Like, all that had to be said at that point was somebody from Epic saying, yeah, they're the same person. Because there was so much evidence, there were things pointing to it, there was everything far and in between, like everything. We had it all. And then one of the comic writers comes out and says, yeah, no, they're completely different people.
No, that was Donald Mustard. It was Donald Mustard.
No, it was one of the comic writers.
No, like somebody talked with Donald Mustard.
Okay, well, it was one of the comic writers who tweeted it, so.
No, somebody interviewed Donald Mustard about
No, it was one of the comic writers. I saw the tweets.
I also saw the tweets, and it was about talking to Donald Mustard. I don't think that's the case. I don't know how to find this. Do I scroll back? A week on freaking Twitter. Okay, I'm just gonna scroll while we don't.
Yeah, I'll keep going. But it was all but confirmed at that point. Everybody believed it. Everybody knew it practically. Like, you can see all the videos on the internet, just basically common knowledge that they were the same person. And then they come out and say, no, they're different people. And I mean, I feel like they tried to tie up the loose ends with it, saying like, yeah, Paradigm helped build the mech. She didn't build it herself. She helped them build it alongside Singularity. They both built it. And Paradigm was just the pilot. Singularity was... Wait, was it? No. Paradigm was the pilot. Singularity. Yeah, Paradigm was the pilot. Singularity built it.
Mechanic.
Yeah. But it was also said that Paradigm might have helped Singularity build her armor, which is why there would be so many like similarities between their armor sets. And I feel like a lot of this is just like scrambling, right? Because I feel like the whole plan at the beginning was to have them be the same character. And in the end, it just ended up being a case of, okay, we want to use Brie Larson's face for the Paradigm, but Singularity already has a face, so now we need to make them different characters.
Yeah, and I feel like this is after coming from, last season where we got the Imagine, we got the Order, we got the Origin, and that's it, right? That was the last three. And, new version of Paradigm. It's just, we talked about this at our youth group fun party. Something like a movie, like we need more. I really want to learn where and how these people joined the Seven, how the Seven staff was founded, and learn more about the background of these characters. Cool, it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It doesn't mean anything to Fortnite lore. Like, what is the foundation? Why did he want to start this group of the Seven? Did he start it, or is he the leader? We don't know. These are the questions that we need answered, and I just don't think they themselves know.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, we talked about the idea of there being a movie. Like, if Epic Games, it seems like they're pulling together all these celebrities, whether it just be to represent in the game or for it to be a bigger cause. I feel like they're pulling them together to, I don't know, it does have a media impact, but if they were to use a movie to tell these parts of the story that need to be told, it would be huge in the media to have Brie Larson, Dwayne Johnson, and all these other voice actors behind the Seven. Like, they're not small names. They have had a lot of roles in a lot of popular movies, whether you recognize them or not. I do think it would be huge for them to bring in these actors and tell a story with them. And I feel like it needs to be done in one way or another, whether it be like a 30-minute animated 2D short film or a full-on 3D rendered movie in the Fortnite cutscene style. Like, I think it's definitely something that has to happen at one point or another to fix the mistakes they've made.
Yeah. And I don't like have anything against them, because this is like such a complex and interesting story that there's no way that when they had introduced the Visitor, they knew it was going to get to this point. They had no idea Brie Larson and Dwayne The Rock Johnson were going to be chilling with them, fighting these crazy aliens that are destroyers of realities, fighting Geno, who's this magical being.
Yeah.
There's no way they knew this when introducing the Seven.
Mm-hmm. So, we can cut them a little bit of slack for not having everything worked out from the beginning. But they do have to do a little bit of backtracking here in order to fix, like, the rocky past that is the Fortnite storyline.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what they were trying to do with the comics, but honestly, it's just made things a little bit more complicated. We'll have to see what happens with the Ice King here, if they, like, tie up his loose ends and whatnot, but who knows. Did you find it yet?
I did just see Hypex just said, seems like Donald Mustard did the Paradigms, the Singularity direction for the Brie Larson. So let's see what the actual post was. Okay. All right, folks. I've spoken to the man, the myth, the Mustard, Donald Mustard. So I think it was someone talking to Donald Mustard about the comics. Yeah, he was asking questions about the Marvel.
What was the Twitter account that was talking to?
Christos Gage.
Is the profile picture just a guy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the person I was thinking. I'm pretty sure he helped write the comics or write the images or whatever, the drawings. Something. He had something to do with the comics, from what I heard. And that could be why he was talking to Dr. Meister.
Spider-Man movies. Okay, yeah, he's done.
Yeah. So it seems like that's why he's there.
And Don Mustard said, Paradigm and Singularity are different. Okay.
Yep.
Anything else? So I think that kind of covers that whole thing with, just I think that's the big problem I have with the lore right now. Like, I love this whole thing, and I was really hoping that because of this taking a step back, they were going to be able to finalize some stuff, and maybe that's what this was. Maybe these two, this was the big thing I thought of at the beginning, and with the whole Bloom Washer being a 2-season thing, giving them time to get all the comics out and polishing their story. figuring out these loose ends, figuring out who is Geno. Like, I really don't think they know who Geno is and why Geno hates the Seven so much or something.
Yeah.
I just don't think they themselves know. And I was
Because
really
in the beginning, it seemed like Geno was that guy in the photo with Sloan, right? Just a typical IO guy. I definitely think it is, but it seems like that's all they had for him. And then in the event, here we are seeing this like giant purple beast that's like some magical being. And then now in the comics, he's like this guy wearing magical armor.
Yeah. And like
it's a lot of directions with this character that they're trying to go, but we'll have to see. There might be an explanation for all of it, but then again, it's epic, so
yeah, maybe. But that's what I was kind of hoping, and maybe. But now the fact that like the members of the Seven are missing, I don't think we're gonna get that.
Yeah,
I don't think they're able to spend time, which stinks, but it's whatever. I think that's the big thing I have for the story. The story's gonna keep growing, but I think they just need. How would you think about them going about taking time to polishing it? Because they can't rewrite the story as they're writing the story.
I mean, do a prequel. Do whether it be a comic strip or it be a miniseries or a movie or something. It doesn't have to be like internet breaking, but do something that's a prequel to try and like put together your semblance of the Seven, right? And then maybe have flashes to the IO side of things. Like, how did the IO start? Who is Geno? Like, why is he important? How did he get into genetic science? Like, how were the sisters first created? What was the idea behind that? Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of things they could explain with a prequel, and I feel like that's the best way for them to go about things.
Let's see, what's another thing? I mean, they do, and another reason we think about the movie side of like a Fortnite movie is because they do own like a Epic Games Studio type of thing for film and audio.
Yeah, and we know Unreal Engine is used for a lot of movies and things, so it's not completely out of the picture.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the big thing I hope for, just learning about these characters and who they are, because right now it just keeps getting more complicated. Like, it definitely was fun, like, with the Cube Queen, but now with all these, and I think they messed up when they introduced all the members of the Seven left in one season. I think they just overcomplicated it, because we didn't get to learn much about any of them, because they had to learn about all
If they took it at a 1 per season rate, we would have had a lot more time with the characters, we would have bonded with them more. Yeah, it would have been a lot nicer to hear their individual voices a lot more as well. Because I know we were like freaking out about the fact that the origin was British. We were like, oh my gosh, Britain exists in the Fortnite world. Pardon me. And it's like, yeah, it would have been really cool to hear some more of his voice lines, but he was gone after like 2 weeks. It was kind of upsetting.
Yeah, and that because it was for the Imagine, trying to bring this together, and then he came back and the event happened.
Yeah.
But, do you want to talk about, do you want to end this with our theories of if there's an event? Because today's Saturday. Tuesday we should be getting an update. That would either be, which is either, I don't think it's going to be both. It's either going to be an event or it's going to be Rift Tour. So which one do you think it's going to be? And what do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be a Rift Tour thing with Lady Gaga because, I mean, when we got the Ariana Grande Rift Tour, that was also a 0.1 update. This update is what? 20 what?
21.51.
Yeah, 21.51. And in case you are not up to date on how this works, every season it updates that first number, 21, 22. Every season that number changes by 1. And then every major update we get for a season,
21
it changes to
21.2, 21.3.
So we almost never get updates that's 21.31. Like, we never get something like that unless it's some sort of event or like the Ariana Grande Rift Tour that got that. So I'm thinking this is probably a Lady Gaga Rift Tour because we've had so many leaks and references to Lady Gaga recently. It just would make the most sense out of everything.
Do you think... I think if we would get a Rift Tour, I still think it's more likely for... I think it's maybe not more likely, but likely for Billie Eilish as well. With God on Muster, like, him talking about Billie all that time and stuff like that, and her growing. And with this being right before Halloween, she definitely has more of a creepy aspect, which can get us ready for what if, okay, hear me out. If we would get a Rift Tour, this is going to be right at the end of the season, right before. What if the Rift Tour leads us into a spooky season? What if that is the event? What if all that like trailer stuff happens during the event? What if when like Billy's singing, her voice is like making the 0 point like awake or something in the tree?
I mean, I
like
talked about this earlier. Billie Eilish's kind of full vibe in all of her music videos is so like unsettling, I think is the best word for it. Like,
Yeah.
And I know in one of them, I think it was Bad Guy actually, one of those darker songs, she has like this black ink leaking out of her eyes, and it's just, it's unsettling. Oh, I feel like that would fit.
He just saw blood on her knife.
Yeah, it would make the most sense though, right? Like if she is a creepy singer that is already known to probably like very 89% chance coming, then I think having her segue us into a creepy season could make a lot of sense, right? Like, what if she's casting this ink around as she's doing the concert, and that's like corrupting the tree
with a snake type thing? Like,
yeah.
Her music and her vocals and her melodies are awakening this reality sap.
Like, what if we're on the island again, kind of like the Interstellar? What's it? Was that it?
Which one?
The other concert one.
The Travis Scott.
Yeah, the Travis Scott. Yeah.
I don't know.
You were on the map is what I'm referring to here.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And, you know, he was just kind of walking around it. I'm thinking it ends up being something more like that. And while you're floating on the map and while she's walking around it, things are becoming corrupted as she's doing the concert, or like everywhere she steps just like turns into this goop. Like, I feel like that could definitely be a direction they take it.
Yeah. So I think we're definitely both on the edge of more Rift Tour. But if there was an event, what do you even think it would be?
I have absolutely no clue. This is Epic Games we're talking about. We could have the most sensible conclusion
With like it literally, we literally can have like talk for 30 minutes about evidence and it just be not.
Yeah.
Yet again,
I don't.
vibing. Like we had so much evidence for a drought season.
We're gonna have a sequel vibing season. It's just gonna be more just chilling. We're gonna get pizzas back, and you know we're gonna actually have concerts all season. Party Royale's gonna come back as like a LTM.
No.
Oh gosh.
Just no.
Well, I think we can wrap this episode up on that note. Yeah. Thank you all for listening. Hope you've enjoyed. Go ahead and leave a follow if you want to hear more of our random ramblings. Listen, it's been...
My quality would be better. I got a mic. Like a proper...
Yeah.
My quality's...
He has a mic, so... He's not gonna sound like a mic peaking... mic peaker.
I am cruel, Bobda.
Definitely. But yeah. Anyways. Thanks for listening. It's been me, Junior Wolf, aka JJ,
And me, Dr.
Zombrain.
Seth. The Jeff is... Bye.